Yo, what's up? John Sanders here. Thank you for joining me. Not good news today in that we can't practice. What is that? Heartbreak, man. But it is what it is. This is why we need our own gym, and we will get there. I think it's gonna come sooner than later, because we do have plans, and those plans will eventually hit like the right person, and if they agree with us, then basically like it doesn't take too many people to get on board with like we believe in you. So if we get the right kind of people, I think that is good, which is why we need to grow our member base so we get the right people involved. That's it. So I don't think it takes too much. It will take some rich people who want to make some money off the program, but we have to make the program great at first. So that's the game plan. But we don't have the gym for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're back on Friday, so we get the entire middle of the week. Make sure you guys go out there and you work. All right. I made sure to still do the show today because I want to show you that I can go every day doing something, and you should be able to do the same thing. At one point this week, I do want to talk about something that I had planned, but I'll mention it again later. But I just wanted to mention it now because it makes sense now. All right. When you like don't want to do something, because I know that it's easier to work out in groups. It's easier to work out if like we are making you, of course. But if you don't want to do something, but you know that you should do it and like you want the outcome, even if it's just like take a shower or do the laundry, all right. But if it's like working out, even more so, like six in the morning, there's a rule called the 2-minute rule, and some people lower it to like 1 minute, and all you have to do is just start the event, like whatever you're planning, you just start it. And I know that you guys have like felt that too, where you're thinking, man, this is like going to be so rough. Oh, man, I got to do this. Oh, I don't want to do this. And then you just never start. But then as soon as you start it, whenever that happens to be, now you get to the point where you don't want to stop it. So a lot of people search for motivation and they want to be motivated all the time. And I give you guys like movies just to keep you motivated, all these rules to keep you motivated. The greatest motivation are the greatest amount of motivation is found in actually doing the activity. The mind just want it's not that the mind doesn't want to do the hard thing. It's just that the mind doesn't like transitioning. It likes to focus on the task at hand. And if the task at hand is playing video games or sitting down sleeping, it wants to stay focused on that. That's like what's helped us survive throughout time. All you have to do is just change it. And there's this cool thing where, and they were looking to see like why people yawn, because we still don't know why people yawn. And we don't know why it's contagious. The best theory that I like, I mean, there's also like people say, it's a lack of oxygen. And you go, oh, give me more oxygen. That doesn't make sense, actually. So some people thought that was spirits leaving your body back in the day. The best one that I like is that it's a signal to change activities. It's because Olympic athletes, they yawn right before their big races. Are they tired? No. Why would they yawn? Because you're changing activities, right? And when you change activities, you want to signal it, and that would explain why yawning is a nonverbal cue for others to begin yawning as well to spread the word. And that's why we naturally see someone yawn, and then we have to yawn. It's not that the oxygen in the room is being depleted, which is like a silly thing. But so I like that theory a lot. But the body takes some doing to transition. So if you're out there and you're like, I don't want to work out, I don't know if I want to work out, just start. Just start, and I bet you, like, just get in the shower, and I bet you just start doing the laundry, and I bet you that it will be harder to stop than it is to continue. And you just do it for 2 minutes. Just say, okay, I'm going to work out for 2 minutes, or a minute if you can't handle 2 minutes. I'm gonna do my homework for 2 minutes, all right? And then your body will just be like, oh, I don't want to stop doing this. All right, so that's a great trick. I'll talk about it again later this week because it was in my plans to talk. Maybe next week, I'm not sure, but whenever I was supposed to talk about it. But I thought that was a good thing right now. So make sure you guys do that while we're off. If anyone's watching the show, I don't even know. Since we're not going, you guys might have been like, well, I want to watch the show. I don't know. All right, but if you're watching, let's go over to the quote of the day. Quote of the day: believe in yourself. All right. Since so many people are gonna be against you, especially with the greater that you are, all right, the better that you are, the more people will be against you. I like to bring up Britney Spears with this. If you guys know Britney Spears, a lot of people think she's crazy. When I was growing up, she was known as like this. It was her and Christina Aguilera, and they were like the top two. The thing is, though, is that Christina Aguilera can actually sing, and Britney might have been like kind of cuter, I guess, if you like that. But she didn't sing as well, but she was more famous than Christina. So a lot of people gave Britney a lot of crap because they're like, she's not good. But like literally, she wasn't like amazing, but she wasn't bad. Like the music that she came out with wasn't bad, but everyone gave her so much crap. And then when I was writing poetry for the first time, this is what I do if I have low numbers. If I see like 0 people watching, I'll just start talking about like random stuff like poetry. But I started writing poetry, and I was so afraid of like putting it online. And then I finally just got the nerve because of Britney Spears. I didn't like her music, but I had to acknowledge that she was super famous. And I was like, you know what? She has like 1 million people buying her stuff. That's not that many people if you put it out there to the whole world. So I was like, you just have to be bold enough to put it out there to 8 billion people. Probably 7 billion when I was growing up. Guys, the world's getting bigger and I'm getting older. But yeah, if you put yourself out there, you will have millions of fans. If you can get the word out there to 8 billion people, at least 1 million are gonna like you. 1 million to 8 billion, that the difference is like 1,000, 8,000 times bigger. So for every 8,000 people who hate your guts, one person will love you. That's all that you need, and you have 1 million fans. But you have to put yourself out there. But with that said, the rest of the people, the 7,999,000,000 people, they're gonna hate you, maybe, right? You're gonna have your haters. The more popular that you get, but you have to remember that that's how you find the people that love you. And if they start hating you, that means that they're paying attention to you. Because probably if you did it right now, they wouldn't care. Even if the whole world saw you, they wouldn't care. But the bigger that you get, the more successful that you get, they will. And through all this, you have to remember, it doesn't matter if they believe in you. Even your fans, it doesn't matter if you lose them. All that matters is if you believe in yourself. Because that's what's going on in your head all the time, constantly ticking, going on and on and on. And if that perpetual thing, imagine yourself like running, like walking through all these fans booing on you. That would have a negative effect on you, right? But they can't follow you home. They're not in your car. They're not there when you wake up. They're not there when you are eating lunch. But you are there. So you're the crowd. And if you are negative about yourself, that's like being booed at all day long. The coach only has you during practice. See, teachers only have you during class. Your parents don't even have you all day. But you're in your mind. You have to make sure that that person talking to you so closely is speaking in positive terms. So that's why this is so important. Quote of the day, believe in yourself. All right. Let's move on to the poll question. The poll question is, everyone talks about, this is kind of like a conspiracy theory. Should have put it in conspiracies, but Scott Foster is known as he's like known as the Angel Hernandez of reffing. Angel Hernandez is an umpire in baseball. Baseball is like the slow version of basketball. Okay, you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but Scott Foster cheats because they bring him in every time that they need the series extended. He's known as the extender. The extender. Do you guys think that Scott Foster, that's Scott Foster right there. He's the one who didn't call that push off. Looking right at it. And they're calling him the extender. Bro is really the extender. Do you guys believe that he is the extender? Or do you think that it's just like an overblown thing? Where like, okay, he's not doing it on purpose. But every time that they need him in there, because if the NBA gets more games, everyone gets more money, including the refs. Imagine if you were set to referee Game 7, but it ended in 6 games. And you were also the ref in Game 3, let's say. And it was a 2-0 game, about to be 3-0, but you knew that you reffed Game 7. Are you going to maybe lean this way versus that way? It's not like you're getting paid by the players or paid by the coaches, but you are getting paid. And you're not going to get paid if the game doesn't occur. So I do believe that there's some bias in this. I don't know if it's on purpose, but man, you got to make sure if you're going to you got to end that thing. I think that it should be that way, actually. Forget it. If you want to win, you got to go extra hard. But what this did to the Indiana Pacers is they could have gone up 3-1. That was also travel. Could have gone up 3-1, but now they're down 3-2. I mean, they could have gone up 3-1. They were ahead by a lot. And then they choked. The clutch team finally choked. And now they lost 2 straight games. Now they're down 3-2. We'll see what happens now. Halliburton's hurt too. I don't know. That was a big play. And man, Scott Foster's always in on these things. But maybe that's because he's good, or maybe because they actually hire him. I don't know. But it is something that's. But we do have a poll question today. Not a poll question, but a trivia question. Sorry. The trivia question today is the same one from last week. We got Jacob with a 6-2 lead. All right. This one is, of all the retired Celtics jerseys, which player played the least amount of games? This is actually an easy question if you know enough about basketball and you look through the retired jerseys of the Celtics. You can probably figure it out without looking to see how much time that they all play. So trust me on this one. You should be able to answer this. All right, it's kind of a trick question. It's not really a trick question, but this is of all the players. So Red Auerbach doesn't count. All right, of all the players. Anyways, I'm gonna go off to an ad break. I'll see y'all in a second.
My height projection was below 50%, and my chances of playing college ball were slim to none. That's when my dad found true height. After seeing the clean ingredients, he knew where to give me the best chances for success. I grew 4 inches in 2 years and got called up to varsity as a freshman. I want other kids to know that you can overcome whatever obstacles are in front of you, but it takes hard work and dedication. Question is, how bad do you want
it? Good job, Noah. Killed it. How much longer is for us to be have all of our kids in commercials? I mean, I see it happening. They're really fun to film. I didn't film that one though. That was a professional one. That was why it was a lot better than mine. And it doesn't have Declan going, or me going, water break, which I like because it's a break in the show. But yes, you have until the end of the show to answer this question. I'll ask it again next week. But it's a tough question apparently. All right, let's move on to the fitness stuff. Let's go on. All right. So man, this is some leadership skill coming up here. Watch Chet go up for this dunk. Wait. That was on me.
You okay? Sure. Come on, man. We need you. Get up. Shot, boy. You all right? Get it.
Okay, so that was the MVP coming to the rescue of Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren went in, big guy falls, and big guy who's been hurt before, he's also extra big, which means he's more likely to get injured. And I would have said what he said. I just wouldn't have said it so nicely. But what would you say, and how would you want to be spoken to in that? He went over to him and was like, you okay? Are you sure that you're okay? Now get up because we need you. I would have just yelled, get up now. Because you do need him. You're not winning without him. You can't. There's not another one of him on the bench. And that's a nice thing to say. But the way he said it was like a leader would say it. Not like John would say it. Oh, man, I would have messed this up. He would have stayed down if I was out there. I would have been like, get up now. I don't care if you're dying. You got to get up. This means everything to me. All right? And that's a selfish way to act. I think that the way that he did it was very diplomatic, was very savvy, tactful, if you will. It was loving. I went over to him, are you okay? Are you sure? Then get up. And then he finished it, because we need you. I like that. I like how he said that. And I think for young leaders like yourselves, you guys forget the whole thing. You guys think that you don't need your teammates. All right, so that's your first thing. Then you don't talk to them. All right, so you don't think that you need them. You won't speak to them because you're like shy or whatever. And then you might be like me and say it the wrong way. All right, even if you do get that far. But in terms of like Chet, yeah, man, if you hear something pop or whatever, or you saw your freaking like ankle on the other side of the basketball court, yeah, I guess you can stay down. But man, if it's just pain, assess that. All right. And if you're the problem with you guys is if you're young, you don't know the difference. You're like, okay, I feel this level of pain. Well, I've never felt that before, so I must be dying. And then they bring you to the hospital, and they're like, it's a sore ankle. He'll be better in 3 hours. And you're like, oh, so that's what that is. Wait, so what's a broken ankle? They're like 20 billion times harder than that. And you're like, oh no. But then once you get the broken ankle, you're like, that did hurt a billion times more. Now, when you get hurt the third time, you're like, oh, that was like the first time. I'll be better in 3 hours. Now you can push past it. So when you're young, you just don't know. You don't know what pain is. It's not your fault. All right, because you don't want to like have that 5 billion times pain where you have a broken bone, and then you're like, I gotta play through it, and then you try, and then you hurt yourself even more. So yeah, there's that. But I would say, if you hear something, I would say if it was freakishly bad, I would say to trust the adults around you, because no, trust the adults around you that actually saw you fall. There's sometimes when my back is turned, and I'm talking to like the team on the bench, and someone gets hurt during a game, I handle those situations way different than when I'm looking at you during the game and see you fall. Because I can see you fall, and I'm like, just instinctively, I know, did your ankle twist that way? Did your knee twist that way? Was it a direct hit or was it a twist? Because direct hits aren't that bad, but twists are very bad sometimes. All right, was it like a bigger person hitting you or the same size person? There's all these things that can factor into it. Where if I see you fall, I've only been like wrong once on that one. That was Austin, but Austin built up a whole thing. Austin's Noah's older brother. He was freaking out every game for like 2 months though, and then he actually hurt himself. I saw it. And I was like, get up, and he's actually hurt. All right, and I was like, oops, missed one. But usually I'm pretty good with that stuff. But you have to go by yourself. You have to experience to get it. Let's figure that out. But either way, being the leader, being the person on the ground, I like that they're talking to each other. And listen to it one more time, just because.
Shot, boy. You all right? You okay? You sure? Come on, man. We need you. Get up. Shot, boy. You all right? Get it.
And then he even asked him afterwards, "Are you okay?" I mean, that's a leader that you can like get behind. And for the soft-minded folks out there, it makes them stronger. I think that's what a great leader does. Is it takes the people who aren't leaders and they're just like natural born losers maybe, but it makes them strong too. And I think that's the true sign of a leader, not just bullying people around like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. All right, let's get to the homework. Homework-wise, who's posting? Because you know what I always say, which is different every day. It's what you do in the dark that puts you in the light. I just made that up. That's a me quote right there. I just absolutely made that up. And if you see it on the internet attributed to someone else, they stole it from me. I don't care if it's Mark Twain or Socrates. They took it from me. All right? You tell them that, okay? You tell them that they owe me my money. All right? But yes, it's what you do in the dark that puts you in the light. And let's see who's doing stuff in the dark. We got Chacon, Lincoln, West, right there. Mellow. Good job. 1-on-1 with Henry. So I'm guessing Luke and Henry. Luke with the 7-minute drill with Henry. Nice job. I like the 7-minute drill, even if you guys don't get past the five in a row. Even if you don't make that many threes, I don't care. You're getting a whole bunch of shots up. That's a great thing. Linus moves. You're still doing the Pio Brajovani. I believe he's the champion of that. I'm gonna have to give Chacon a special prize for keeping up with that stuff. It's not all of it, but he's doing a very key, important part of it. I would like you guys to at least do like the free throws with the runs, everything like that too. But we're gonna talk about it again. I'll hype you guys up to continue that because our big guys doing the Pino Rajabani give us a chance to win in Vegas. So let's start focusing on that stuff. We're about a month and 10 days away from that. All right, so that's about 40 days. So get better at that. Go at that, and let's check the behind the scenes stuff. We got behind the scenes with Caitlin Clark and Tyrese. I just hurt myself in the finals. Halliburton, and they have a friendship, obviously. Jacob, Ed McCauley. All right, I don't think it's Ed McCauley, but since I don't know, I'm gonna look up to see how many games Ed McCauley played, and it can't be less than this guy. All right, Ed McCauley. No. Ed McCauley played 641 games. That's way more than this guy played. All right. When you finally say the answer, you can only answer once. But when someone finally says the answer, I'll tell you guys why. And it's a good story. Yeah. But anyways, Tyrese Halliburton and Caitlin Clark, they are friends. They supporting each other's games and things like that. But Caitlin was like watching his game and like filming herself and like screaming to the top of her lungs when he hit his last second shot. He comes to her games, and her first game back was the game was the day after Halliburton hit his game-winning shot, and her first game back from a 10-game injury stint, and she went off against the New York Liberty too. So like they're not only like the superstars of their teams, they also have a friendship that spans beyond basketball. Tyrese Halliburton and his girlfriend, and Caitlin Clark and her boyfriend, they go on like double dates together. They like have text message threads and stuff like that. Is that not the neatest thing, especially for a small place like Indiana? I like this, and I just wanted to bring it up as behind the scenes thing because who do you have supporting you in your life? If it's another superstar, that probably helps a lot. Helps a lot because they're going through what you're going through. And I love how, and the end of the article, Halliburton goes, "Oh, her fame is so much higher than mine. I don't really know what she's going through, but I kind of have a level of fame." Yeah, Caitlin Clark's bigger than most NBA players. That's crazy, and it's like Ronda Rousey and things like that. But it also reminds me of when Dennis Rodman dated Madonna. Dennis Rodman said, he's like, "Oh, I thought I was famous until we had to like run from paparazzi and we couldn't even eat in restaurants." He goes, "I was not that famous." But of course, now he's more famous than Madonna. But yeah, so there are levels to this, and Caitlin Clark is at that highest level, even higher than most NBA players. And it's a really cool friendship, and I like that whole thing. It's really neat. All right. Anyways, moving on to our story of the day. Let's see what that's about. Story of the day. Do I want to talk about that? Yeah, let's do it.
Control your anger, your fear, your frustration, and your attitude. Leadership is a matter of having people look at you and gain confidence because of how you're handling yourself. If you're in control, they're in control.
It's kind of what we were just talking about with SGA handling the leadership role when his boy got hurt. He calmly spoke to him. He wasn't freaking out. Leadership is making your teammates better. All right, and if you're the person going buck wild all the time, your teammates aren't feeding off of that energy very well. All right, because you obviously need a leader to control you. All right, and look at the things that story asked us to control. It asked us to control our anger. You don't need to get mad every single second of the game. You can get mad, like you can show anger. Like I don't get mad, but I do show anger if I need to, just so I can get my way and speak my mind. I don't let people walk over me, but I don't literally like lose it. I'm not out of control. So it doesn't say like to not have anger, because if you don't, I mean, if someone is like invading your space or like hurting people that you love, you need to use anger, but you can't use it out of control. Okay, you can't you can't literally be mad and like blind and just going, I want to kill you. No, calm down. use anger like raising your voice and going, hey, no, we don't do that, like that kind of stuff. All right, and you don't always do it. All right, you have to use your anger, not lose it. So control your anger, control your fear. Again, it doesn't say that you shouldn't have fear. All right, that's the sign of bravery. If you weren't actually scared and you're just like the honey badger, you're not really doing anything special. All right, that's just who you are. But if you actually are afraid, good, you get to be brave. All right, and then control your frustration. And once again, you will be frustrated. But you take your time and you go meditate through it all and see what it is. All right, and then lastly, and control your attitude. Your attitude is how you handle things. It's how you handle the good things and the bad things. When you win, are you like, yeah, look at me? That's not a good attitude. When you lose, you're like, I suck, everyone sucks, I hate you. No, that's not a good attitude. All right? You have to, what up, Jace? You have to be able to control those things. And then be a great example for your teammates. So, well, we can take Jace, for example. We saw what happened when Jace got taken out of the game and played like half the game or whatever it was, but it was less time than he wanted to play. There will come a time when Jace's teammates will play less and Jace will be in. And then we're going to need one of them from the bench to come out and help us win. How will Jace want that player to act? Well, he's telling that player how to act because he knows when I'm out, this is how I act. And you guys should act like this too. So now he's creating a cancer on his own team for later when he's the leader. So you guys have to understand your role and understand your impact. That it's like a very, 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 very important role that you have whenever you're on a team, because it's different than golf or tennis. People are affected by you, and you're affecting people all the time. So yes, control your anger, your fear, your frustration, and your attitude. Leadership is a matter of having people look at you and gain confidence. So when Joey makes people cry all the time and he's belittling them because he's little, that's not good. You want people on your team to feel more confident. I mean, not shooting too many shots confident, but to feel good about themselves because of how you're handling yourself. So you're not screaming at the ref when he calls bad calls. You teach your teammates, we don't get texts. Because imagine if they lost a game like that, right? All right, if you're in control, they're in control. Last thing, I just noticed Lou Dort does this. Whenever he plays defense, he forces the ref's hand. If he gets screened, he fights over it. He doesn't lay on screens, and he actually he makes them call calls, and it's really, really funny how he does it. So watch this. He's guarding him. He gets over that screen. He fights over the screen, and he's flying over it. Fights over the screen, flying over it. He's not flopping. He's just going he hit me. And he could just lay on the screen, but he goes dead on into it, staying with his man. I'm going to you. And you can call it, but it's not, you can't call an offensive foul against him because he's just trying to stay with his man. And I think it's a very interesting philosophy to be ultra aggressive. And the guy was moving. But if he just stopped on the screen, they wouldn't have called that. So I like the aggression in that. He's being aggressively staying with his man. Not aggressively hitting anybody, but he's wanting to be hit. I would not mind you guys doing that. You don't need to flop or anything like that, but you try to go over that screen. You try your hardest. And if they hit you, now the referee can see it. So if you're aggressive, you force the referee's hand. And I like that a lot. Anyways, don't forget that we don't have practice. Sorry, guys. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Don't know what's going on. It's insane. But we're back on Friday, and then we'll find out our game times tomorrow. All right? So work, post the homework. You guys don't stop just because we stop. All right? No one answered the trivia question, so we'll ask that same one again next week so you guys can look it up. Remember, just look through every single name. If you know basketball, you should be like, oh, that guy. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, of course that guy. All right? That's all my hint. That's all my hint for you. Anyways, believe in yourself, guys. Keep working out there. I'll talk to y'all soon, man. Reese's Pieces, everybody.